If you are waiting to feel motivated before you start, I have news you are not going to like, followed by news that will change your week. The news you will not like, the motivation you are waiting for is not coming. Not for the hard thing, not at the start. The news that will change your week, it was never supposed to come first. Motivation is not a precondition for action, it is a byproduct of it. You have the sequence backwards, and so does almost everyone. Which is why the fix I'm going to give you today looks so small that you will be tempted to dismiss it. Do not. It may be the highest leverage 10 seconds in this entire season. I am Prashant Nagpal. This is the Better Daily podcast. Let us get into it. You are listening to a project I almost did not start. For years, I kept notes for my children, observations, lessons, things I wished someone had told me at 17 when I walked into medical school. The idea of turning those notes into something public, a podcast, a newsletter, sat on my list through every one of those years. I did not lack conviction, I lacked a beginning. Every time I considered starting, the full size of the project presented itself at once. The equipment, the editing, the 52 episodes, the judgment of colleagues. Faced with the whole mountain, I did the reasonable thing, nothing. What finally broke the deadlock was not a surge of motivation. It was a deliberately tiny contract. One evening, I told myself 5 minutes. Open the document, write for 5 minutes about one idea, and then I have full permission to stop. I did not stop. I almost never stop. Almost nobody does. Those 5 minutes became a script. The script became an episode, and that decision became the most consequential creative year of my life. The entire project you are listening to fit at the moment of its beginning inside 5 minutes. Here is why that works, and it is not a trick. It is neurology. The dopaminergic system, the machinery of drive, activates most strongly not in anticipation of effort but during engagement with it, particularly as progress signals start arriving. Which means the feeling you are waiting for lives on the other side of the starting line. The people who appear most motivated are not experiencing some richer inner fuel than you. They have simply learned to lower the threshold of beginning so far that they cross it before resistance can organize itself. B.J. Fogg at Stanford has spent decades formalizing this. Behavior occurs when motivation, ability, and a prompt converge. His practical conclusion is the important part. Motivation is the least reliable of the three. It fluctuates daily, hourly. So do not build your system on it. Build on the other two. Make the behavior radically easier and put the prompt physically in front of you. Shrink the task until it is smaller than your resistance. 5 minutes is smaller than almost any resistance. In radiology, the discipline I trust most is the systematic search. Every scan, the same review sequence in the same order, regardless of how the reader feels that morning. Tired, distracted, post-call, the search pattern does not consult my mood. And here is what 2 decades of it has taught me. The discipline does not require motivation at any point. It requires only the willingness to begin the sequence. The first structure I check is deliberately routine. It is the ignition, not the engine. 30 seconds in, the reading mind has arrived, summoned by the work itself, not by any feeling that preceded it. Your writing, your workout, your difficult project, they all have an ignition sequence. You have just been trying to start with the engine. 3 moves this week. Move 1, the 5-minute contract. Pick the one thing you have been avoiding longest. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Do only that thing until the timer sounds. Then, and this clause is load-bearing, genuinely permit yourself to stop. The permission is what shrinks the task below your resistance. If you secretly plan to continue, the contract is fake and your brain knows it. mean it. You will continue anyway, but as a choice, not a trap. Move 2. The preset. Before bed tonight, place tomorrow's starting cue physically in your path. The running shoes at the bedroom door, the document open on the screen, the instrument out of its case. You are negotiating with tomorrow morning's tired self. Lower that person's bar. They are not weaker than you. They are you minus the current surplus of good intentions. Move 3. The first sentence. For any creative or written work, produce only the first sentence today. One sentence. Ship nothing. Judge nothing. Tomorrow's session does not begin at zero, and beginnings are the only expensive part. One refinement before we close. The 5-minute threshold is for starting resistance, not for everything. Some avoidance is information. A project you dread every single day for months may be the wrong project, and no threshold trick should override that signal forever. The test is simple. If you feel relief and momentum after the 5 minutes, it was starting resistance. If you feel dread even after crossing the threshold, week after week, listen to that. Episode 17 on the strategic no is for those. Seneca saw all of this without a timer or an fMRI. While we wait for life, life passes. You will almost never feel ready. Begin anyway. The feeling catches up. It always catches up about 5 minutes in. I am Prashant Nagpal. This is the Better Daily Podcast. Small shifts, big life. I will see you in the next one.